Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to talk about a snake that is the subject of an age-old saying. Don't be too quick to judge things. This is the prairie rattlesnake. It's the plains predator you'll overlook until it's too late. Rattlesnakes are infamous throughout the world. These snakes have been given a bad rap due to their venomous bite and also the fact that they read just so darn creepy. People tend to think of them as evil and menacing, so it's kind of hard to imagine how anyone could possibly view them as anything other than sinister. However, there is one species of rattlesnake that is actually rather common across much of North America, and that's the prairie rattlesnake. And it's really hard to imagine how anyone would think that this snake is scary. They're known for being some of the most bland-looking snakes around. They're masters of camouflage. The prairie rattlesnake is the 19th largest snake in the world. So if it's going to hide, it's going to need to be good at it. So how does it manage to blend in so well? Well, these guys come in a wide variety of colors. Most are shades of brown or beige, although there are some dark gray and even black-colored ones. Most of them have a diamond-like pattern running down their backs, and their bellies are light-colored. Some specimens are pretty much completely lacking in any sort of discernible markings, while others sport vibrant blotches and bands. This all depends on where they live and the environment they've adapted to. As a result of this, many people simply regard them as boring snakes. They don't get the same respect or notoriety as other, more vibrantly colored snakes like coral snakes, for example. And it's honestly hard to say that it doesn't deserve this. But if you ever encounter one of these snakes, don't be fooled by its simple coloring, because they are still rattlesnakes. They still possess the iconic rattle at the end of their tails, and they can use it. When threatened, the prairie rattlesnake shakes its tail rapidly. This creates a loud rattling noise that's enough to scare off almost any potential threat. Although this isn't always the case, as we've seen in countless westerns when cowboys and cowgirls would find themselves face to face with a rattlesnake. The only thing they did was kill it. So the rattles didn't always work as a warning to humans. Rattlesnakes aren't even native to the prairie, yet they've somehow become synonymous with the area, like they're basically the mascot of the prairie. They're actually more commonly found in mountainous areas. Prairie rattlesnakes can be found across much of the western United States, southwestern Canada, and northern Mexico. It's also important to note that rattlesnakes are called Crotalus viridis, which translates to green death. There's no animal it won't eat. It feeds on what many of us consider pests: ground squirrels, mice, prairie dogs, even birds. In one strike, the hunt is over. Now, as we said before, these snakes are quite literally everywhere. You'll find them basking on rocks in the middle of the day, blending into the tall grasses, or even sunning themselves on roadkill. They're also great swimmers and have been known to pursue fish in creeks and rivers. Some have even been spotted climbing trees. Many people are scared of snakes, but it's important to remember that they're just animals trying to survive. In most cases, they don't want to be bothered by humans, but if they feel threatened, they may lash out. That's why it's important to admire them from afar. They may be beautiful creatures, but they're also wild animals and should be treated as such. Many people believe that rattlesnakes are aggressive, but that's not the case. They're usually only aggressive when they feel threatened or cornered. And if they do feel threatened, they'll usually give you a warning before biting you. This is why it's important to know what to look for. Be careful if you see a rattlesnake. Give it plenty of space and don't try to touch it. Rattlesnakes have a reputation for being aggressive and vicious, but in reality, they're shy and non-aggressive. If you give them space, they'll leave you alone. So don't worry about getting bitten by a rattlesnake if you're careful. Although many people believe that rattlesnakes are dangerous, venomous killers, they're actually very docile creatures. They don't want to bite you, but if they feel threatened, they will. Rattlesnakes are usually found in rural areas and are rarely seen by humans. But if you do encounter one, don't panic. Just stay calm and back away slowly. They're usually more afraid of you than you should be of them. Now, if you do get bitten by a rattlesnake, seek medical attention immediately. But don't expect to go to the hospital without paying your bill first. Some hospitals charge upwards of $1 million for treating snake bites. And if you don't have insurance, that's a lot of money. However, rattlesnake bites are very rare, and most people who are bitten recover without any long-term health problems. So let's take a closer look at these fascinating animals. No one, they're not actually green. Despite their name, prairie rattlesnakes are usually brown, tan, or gray. However, they can change color depending on their environment. For example, in areas where there are a lot of rocks, they tend to be lighter colored so they can blend in. On the other hand, in areas where there are a lot of plants, they tend to be darker colored so they can camouflage themselves. No. 2, they don't shake their rattles for no reason. Prairie rattlesnakes only shake their rattles when they feel threatened. They do this to warn off predators, and it works most of the time. Number 3, they're not venomous. Prairie rattlesnakes have fangs, but they don't inject venom into their victims. Instead, they release a toxin that paralyzes their prey. This allows the snake to swallow the animal whole. No. 4, they're not always found in the prairie. Prairie rattlesnakes are actually found in a variety of habitats, including mountains, deserts, and forests. Number 5, they're not always solitary. Prairie rattlesnakes often gather in groups, especially during mating season. No. 6, they're not cold-blooded. Prairie rattlesnakes are actually warm-blooded, which allows them to thrive in a variety of climates. No. 7, they don't just eat snakes. Prairie rattlesnakes will eat just about anything, including lizards, frogs, mice, and even birds. No. 8, they don't have a natural enemy. Prairie rattlesnakes are at the top of the food chain, which means they don't have to worry about being eaten themselves. No. 9, they're not immortal. Prairie rattlesnakes can live up to 20 years in the wild. Number 10, they're not extinct. Prairie rattlesnakes are currently listed as a species of least concern by the IUCN. As we said before, prairie rattlesnakes are interesting creatures. They're not the slimy, evil things that they're made out to be in movies and TV shows. In fact, they're pretty cool animals. They're just misunderstood. We hope you've enjoyed learning about these fascinating animals. If you have, please like and share this video with your friends. Thanks for watching.